Hey, everybody. Most people have no idea this is happening. While high school seniors are fighting for roster spots, 25-year-old college players are being granted an extra season by the court order. Not waivers, not NCAA approvals, judges. This is not theory. It's not my opinion. It's happening right now. And it's quietly reshaping college rosters. So let me explain exactly what's going on using one real case and why it matters to every high school athlete trying to get recruited. Hey, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Keith Mondillo. I've spent over 30 years as a college basketball coach and athletic director, and I've sat in roster meetings. I've made these decisions. And it was at the NCAA convention just last week when this issue was addressed head on. And what you're about to hear is not, again, my opinion. It's the reality families need to understand. So let's walk through the facts. Puff Johnson began his college career at North Carolina. Here's his timeline. In 2021, he played in 14 games. In 21-22, he played in 24, and in 22-23, he played in 27. So that's 3 seasons of competition at UNC. In April of 23, he transferred to Penn State. So he played in 29 games in the 23-24 season and 17 games last year in 24-25. That's 2 more seasons. At that point, Puff Johnson had played 5 full consecutive college seasons. Under traditional NCAA rules, that's the end. But then he transferred again, this time to Ohio State for the 25-26 season. He applied for a medical hardship waiver to get a 6th year, and the NCAA said no. After the NCAA denial, Johnson filed a lawsuit in November of 2025, and a federal court denies his request for immediate eligibility. Then he refiles in Ohio State court, and on January 16th, 2026, a judge in Franklin County, Ohio, issued a temporary restraining order, also known as a TRO. That ruling blocked the NCAA from enforcing its eligibility decisions and allowed Puff Johnson to be immediately eligible to play for Ohio State. Here's the important detail. This was not a final ruling. This was not the NCAA changing the rules. This was the judge saying, you can play while we sort this out. And this is what Charlie Baker said at the NCAA convention, that the NCAA is following judges' orders and court orders. And a follow-up hearing is scheduled for January 30th of 2026, where the court will decide whether to extend or dissolve that order. Right now, he's eligible because of a judge, not the NCAA. The court's reasoning was simple. Johnson's attorney argued that denying him eligibility would cause irreparable harm. Once a season passes, you cannot get it back. This is why NCAA President Charlie Baker said last week at the convention that the association is now operating in a system where courts are increasingly determining eligibility and not bylaws. That's not governance, that's reaction. And here's the part that families need to hear clearly. Every extra season granted to a 24 or 25-year-old is one less roster spot for a high school senior. And rosters are tighter. Scholarships are limited. And coaches are choosing experience over projection. This is not about blaming players. This is about understanding the environment. High school athletes are not just competing against their classes anymore. They're competing against 5th year, 6th year, and court-approved players. And that changes everything. And this is exactly why hope is not recruiting strategy anymore. If your family's still waiting to be discovered, you are already behind. You need a plan, you need structure, and you need to understand how recruiting actually works in today's NCAA. That's why I wrote the Athletic Recruiting Roadmap. It's a 10-step start-to-finish system that shows you where you truly fit, how to build the right school list, how to communicate with coaches the right way, and how to stay proactive while rosters keep tightening. If you're confused, stuck, or overwhelmed, this book will start you at the right point. Because families who win in this environment are not guessing. They're executing a plan, and that's exactly what I want for you. Take care.